last year. So, when Harry called me up, I had him come over. And I ordered that set of technical books you've been talking about for the last year.
What?
Well, that's all there is to it, and you've spoiled my surprise for nothing. And that letter I just got is a copy of the order. He said he'd mail it to me, and he did. It doesn't seem very funny to me.
I'm sorry, Helen, I'm sorry. It's too bad to spoil your surprise.
Well,
But the idea of me letting Richard stir me all up over a man coming to see you, and then it turns out that he's a book agent and old Harry Minnick at that.
The idea of two people of our age quarreling over another man anyway. It's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard of.
You really had me scared, Helen. You know what I'm going to do tonight after dinner?
There's no telling.
I'm going down and see that picture Richard was talking about.
What?
See, if you're getting to the dangerous age, I want to see what I'm up against.
Well, maybe I'd better go with you. You might be getting to that age yourself, and I'd hate to go through all this again.
From jumping cats, so would I.
Huh. How do you like that?
In just a moment, Leon Janney will be back to tell you about next week's story. But first, a word from Woodbury. Girls, which beauty soap would you say is the finest for the skin? Millions of you will reply, Woodbury Facial Soap, and right you are. For generations, the famous name Woodbury has stood for purity and gentle care of the skin. And today, Woodbury Facial Soap has this added benefit, a skin-invigorating vitamin which actually enlivens the skin's vitality. Just as Woodbury was the favorite of society belles in years gone by, it's the beauty cocktail of glamorous debutantes today. Try a Woodbury facial cocktail yourself. Whip up a rich lather, rub it generously over your face and neck, then rinse and see how bright and fresh your skin looks afterwards. Now, we'll send you a guest cake of fragrant Woodbury in a 5-piece weekend beauty kit if you'll write for it today. This attractive kit brings you also Woodbury powder in 8 glamorous shades, Woodbury beauty creams, and a blush rose lipstick. A complete assortment of Woodbury complexion and makeup aids. And it's so easy to get. Just mail 10 cents with your name and address to Woodbury, Box 31, Cincinnati, Ohio. Send for it right away. Now, Richard the Great, what's the name of the story for next week?
Well, it's called Business Today. You know, you're always hearing about how business is going to depend on the coming generation in a few years and all that stuff. Well, I took a little flyer in business myself. Yeah, you'll be as surprised as I was at the way it turned out if you listen in next Thursday night. Good night.
The Parker family has been brought to you by the makers of Woodbury Facial Soap, the beauty soap for a skin you love to touch. Harry Clark speaking. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
.30 p.m. BULOVA, Boulevard Watch Time. Courtesy the Boulevard Watch Company, 5th Avenue, New York. WJSV, Washington.
The makers of Post Toasties, the wake-up food, present Joe E. Brown.
Joey Brown, that's well, Joey Brown. Toast toasting on the air tonight. And sure make you laugh, 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 laugh.
Yes, another radio shambles with Joey Brown, featuring Gill and Demling with Margaret McRae, Paula Winslow as Jill, yours truly, Don Wilson, Harry Sosnick in his orchestra, and here's the star of our show, Joey Brown.
hello, folks.
Well, Joe, I understand that you're going to New York at the end of this month for the world premiere of your new picture, $1,000 a touchdown.
Yes,
is that right?
and the World Series, Don. Of course, that's your picture, too.
Well, I guess that's right, too, Joe. Are you driving, by the way?
No, I'm taking a train. That car of mine has a shimmy that I can't get rid of. You know how a dog wags its tail every time it sees a bone?
Well, of course, Joe, but what's that got to do with your car?
Well, every time my car sees a gasoline station, it wags its rumble seat. Don, as long as you're going east, too, why don't we travel together?
But, Joe, I'm not going east. Whatever in the world gave you that idea?
Well, it's right here in the newspaper, Don. Come here, look. It says, Naval Air Base, Lakehurst, New Jersey. Navy expecting huge blimp from California.
Okay, Joe, okay. I can take it, I guess. Well, anyway, I hope you have a pleasant trip, Joe, and meanwhile, what's on tap for the program tonight?
Well, tonight we've had Onyx in the play tonight, and that reminds me, by the way, I want to speak to Ray, our sound effects man.
Yes, Joe, I have noticed that he's been sulking a bit lately. What's he so sore about, anyway?
Oh, well, you know how those sound effects men are, Don. Seems some other sound effects man stole his thunder.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, but where is Ray? Have you seen anything of his whereabouts?
Are you looking for my whereabouts, Joe?
Yes, Ray, I am.
Well, they're not here. I sent them to the laundry. I don't get it.
You don't get it?
No, but I'm working on it.
That's just what I wanted to say to you, Ray. You're not working at all.
Well, I've kept my nose to the grindstone all week.
Yeah, well, from the looks of your head, the grindstone slipped and ground a little too high.
What did you say?
You can work on that, too. Now get back to your sound effects. Come on.
I was afraid you'd ask me that. I forgot them. But don't worry, I can do them vocally.
Vocally?
Sure, you tell a story, and I'll do the sound effects with my mouth.
Okay, but it better be good. Here we go. How well I remember when I was a barefoot boy. 'Twas April, and all of San Pedro seemed to mirror the tender loveliness of spring. Beautiful spring.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
What's that?
The spring squeak.
How I love to go to the barn and milk my favorite cow, Old Bess.
Moo, moo, squirt, squirt. And a nickel back in the bottle.
Then came the wanderlust, a mad yearning for travel. And I saddled my horse and rode away.
1, 2, 3, clump. 1, 2, 3, clump. 1, 2, 3, clump.
Hey, wait a minute. What kind of a horse is that?
He's got a wooden leg.
How the noise of the big city thrilled my ear.
Yeah.
The big city thrilled my ear. Anyway, how the noise of the big city thrilled my ear. I say the noise of the big city thrilled my ear.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
You're working on it? Ray, my little pixie, there comes a time in a man's life when everything looks dark. He loses a job. He gets sick, and there seems to be no relief.
No what?
No, relief. Relief. You know what relief is.
Yes.
Well, from now on, you're working on it.
Now that the kids are back in school, football is in the headlines, and there's a keen nip in the morning air, I bet you've all begun to realize that fall is really here. Well, fall is a grand time to brighten up the family's breakfast with something everybody will enjoy. A brimming bowl full of swell-tasting Post Toasties. These appetizing oven-toasted cornflakes are delightfully crisp. Their wonderful flavor is just downright delicious. And say, Post Toasties are packed with food energy to help you start these glorious fall days right. And don't forget, most grocers are selling Post Toasties today at a price below that of any other nationally advertised cornflakes. So tomorrow, ask your grocer for Post Toasties, the wake-up food. Harry Sosnick and the Post Toasties Orchestra present one of the many grand tunes from The Wizard of Oz. It's Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead.
witch, old witch.
The wicked old witch.
Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Wake up, you sleepyhead, rub your eyes
And get out of bed.
Wake up, the wicked witch is dead. He's gone where the goblins go, below, below, below.
Ho-ho!
Let's open up the gates and sing. Ring the bells of ding dong, the merry-o. Swing it high, swing it low. Let them know the wicked old witch is dead.
Thank you, Harry. Tonight, folks, we are going to be
Well, greetings, chum. I understand you're going to New York for the premiere of your picture, $1,000 a touchdown.
Yes, sir, and the World Series, of course.
Oh, of course, the
Have
World
you
Series.
and Demling decided to come along, I'm afraid?
No, Joe. You see, we're merely looking out for your welfare.
That's it.
We bought your tickets for you. Here they are.
Oh, well, thanks.
Read it, they are.
That's very nice of you.
Oh, nothing at
Hey,
all.
wait a minute.
Huh?
These tickets are only good from the Union Depot to the Los Angeles city limits.
Oh, well, think nothing of it, chum. Once you get to the Los Angeles city limits, you can walk to New York in an hour.
You know, on second thought, Joe, I don't think you should go to New York at all.
Why?
Well, think of all the confidence men they have there. And think of all the beautiful girls.
I am.
Oh, but those beautiful girls are liable to turn your head.
Do they really have lots of beautiful girls there?
Why, certainly. In New York, beautiful girls are a drug on the market.
Yeah? Take a look at a dope fiend.
Well, Joe, to convince you that New York is not the place for you, we're going to show you actual pictures of the pitfalls that beset a young man in a great city, Joseph.
Absolutely. Now, Joe, if you'll just go down there and take a seat in the audience, we'll show you the most soul-stirring drama ever seen by human eye.
Well, okay, I'll sit down there in the first row, but this better be good or you'll hear from me.
Just make yourself
Okay.
comfortable. Everything will be under control. Maestro. See, that's pretty. Picture number 1. We find the young and tender husband leaving his dear wife to seek his fortune in the city. It's early morning, and he's through packing. His wife is just closing the bags under his eyes. A little earlier that morning, she just closed one of his eyes. Next picture, please. And now we find the young man huddled in his seat on a train.
Suddenly, the train lurches.
Yes.
Two girls lose their balance. They fall in his lap. Horrors. What shall our poor young man do?
But he is the soul of honor. He looks at the two young ladies on his lap and says sternly, "Look here. One of you dames will have to get off." Picture number 3.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Frank. My wife found that picture on me and made me burn it.
Okay.
Picture number 4.
Yes. Here is our young man of the pure heart in the city now. And does he go to a wretched burlesque show? No, he is in church. He doesn't have any extra buttons, so he puts a zipper in the collection box. Picture 5, please.
He walks and walks.
Yes.
He has no job.
No job.
He sits on the steps of the public library counting pigeons when he is accosted by a city slicker. The slicker tells him it would cost $1 for every pigeon he counted.
And then?
He gives the slicker $14.
Gad, what a swindle.
Sure was. He'd already counted over 50 pigeons.
Get off. Sorry. You seem to be a pleasant moron, Willie. I think I could have a lot of fun ignoring you.
Sorry, chum. That was my mistake.
Social?
Of course. My apologies.
Accept it.
Thank you.
Not at all. Do you mind if I rub a little snow on your bald spot? I want to make a ski jump for a grasshopper.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Next picture.
Back in his room, our hero pens a cheery note to the little woman. Dearest, he says, and I quote, New York is amazing. Today I visited the Brooklyn Bridge and saw the spot where a man shoved his wife into the river. Wish you were here. Next picture, please.
He meets a woman.
Oh.
Now we have it.
Yes.
A city racket. She intends to bewitch him, insure him, kill and collect. She promises him a cherry phosphate if he will but kiss her. But what shall he do?
Her siren gaze fastens upon him, and then... I can't go on with it.
Oh, buck up. Dog it does it, old chap.
Rather. Muddle through, old chap.
Rather. Gentleman's code, old chap.
Rather. Honor of the regiment, old chap.
Quite.
Quite.
Quote.
Unquote.
Quite.
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 What's the matter, Joe?